So there's been a lot of headline news in Michigan and Missouri with these product recall scenarios that they've highlighted all over the news. So in a lot of GL policies, they include a small expense reimbursement for recalls, but it's not true recall coverage. So how can our retail partners ensure that their cannabis clients have the coverage that they need in that coverage area?
The way I would give an analogy to is the old days of when you get employment practices on a BOP, and agents would say, I'm all good. They've got it on their BOP. And then you actually look at it and it's terrible, watered down coverage. It's, first party only, and it's a $50K sublimit. That's what a lot of this is in the cannabis space. And I'm not saying it's bad coverage. I'm just saying it gives an illusion of coverage that maybe not be there. So, the typical product is expense reimbursement. So very limited reasons for a recall. You have to take things off the shelf. You have to ship them somewhere to get destroyed. That has a cost. So you get paid for that. Now there's no pay for the income you would have had to replace that stock. All these other things that can be attributed to a first or third party recall event. None of that is covered. It's just a simple expense reimbursement. Now, these events that you're talking about, Missouri and Michigan, were major events. I think the one in Missouri was, I believe, 48,000, 50,000 products, and they just actually released 14,000 products back into the system. It's massive, and especially in Missouri, it was a new market, so it impacted pretty much every operator in one factor or another. So now we've fast forward to actual true recall coverage, which I think is very good to get because it's first party, third party, BI, contamination, pollution, there's all these different things out there in the true recall product that, it's affordable, but with all these other spends, I understand why people don't take it up. But I do truly believe that with these incidents that are happening, there's going to be, there's more education about it. The recalls are happening, 50,000 products, that affects everybody in the market. And I think what people are realizing is what that expense is and what a quarantine actually looks like, and that, hey, if it happens as a one-off, it's not a big deal. But when you have maybe 5,000 of your products sitting in quarantine for 6 months, and when they went into quarantine, they were 6 months old. When they come out, you destroy them all because they're a year old. There's these little nuances to it, and the expense products don't speak to any of it. And fortunately, as always with cannabis, there's always a couple of new products that come out that, is available in other aspects of the standard market, ENS market, but isn't in cannabis. And a great example is a recall containment product that just came out of the marketplace that we're super excited about. It's very robust, first party, third party, has amazing bells and whistles. And that's just a good example of how the market is catching up, and that these other folks are coming in and saying, hey, how can we educate you cannabis people on these different products that we're selling to manufacturers all over the world? So it's an interesting time to be in the space because there's a lot more capacity and not just capacity, but new products coming out, and that's very exciting.